Good morning. Good morning. Go to the website, download the petition, take it to your supervisor of elections office. I will always reiterate that. But this morning I did want to ask, are we a happy nation? I don't think we are. As a collective, I look at everything Fox, CNN, NBC, you name it, a BBC. I look at world news. The world isn't enjoying itself right now. But the United States of America, this is every demographic, every race. Our young people that are growing into the society are saying, hey, we're not going to be able to own anything. We can't afford anything. Groceries are getting higher. We're hearing reports that because we haven't felt even the harshest effects yet of not doing things the right way for so long, and now starting to feel what that's like, at the registers. When you're buying houses, we're watching corporations buy up houses and make this society a renter society. No one wants to work for their entire life. No one wants to work their entire life. When you start working, you just don't think about it like that. I'll be 43 years old this year. And I'm simply saying that over the years, we have watched representative democracy make decisions that have led us to where we are today. And the simplicity of this is, if citizens, when you elect a representative, you cannot tell them how to vote on a specific piece of legislation. They have individuality to vote how they choose. They can take in whatever data they want to, but they can also take in lobby money, and sometimes you don't know how that's going to weigh with your elected representative. So are we in a good place? And the answer is no. We're on the verge of battles because of course Congress has the only authority to declare war. So we won't call it that, even though we can look at it and say they're at war and we're going to be a part of war, so we're also at war. But then they say no, Congress never declared war. It's all semantics all the time. Are we happy where we are? We have conversations of different groups of people saying that they are getting ready for a civil war. What on earth is going on? You have TikTok and YouTube and other social media outlets that have taken over the reins of information in a way that people trust what they hear on your social media apps more than what they hear from an actual journalist, because information is so available now. We can see with our own eyes something that is happening. The president of the United States of America stated that his own cabinet of in people who give him information are wrong. Well, then why did you hire them in the first place? If you can't believe in the structure you put in place, why did you put it there? Why are they not being removed so you can put somebody in that you say you will believe in? If we're saying that Iran doesn't have these weapons and you're getting information from somewhere else that says they does, who do you trust? You should be trusting the people you put in that office because you fought really hard to put them there. Y'all paid a whole lot of money to put them there. Did you put them there because they were experts? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm simply saying that America is not in a happy place holistically. Left and right, we are deciding which laws we should implement based on how people feel, which is already a problem. If there is a law and you break it, that means you did something illegal. If it should not be illegal, taxpayers should be saying this should not be illegal. You got to stand at some point, even if you are personally affected. The idea of logic has to kick in and say that yes, this does personally affect me, but you still broke the law. I do not like the fact of how I feel because the law is broken, and because you have now because that law has been broken, bad things have happened in my life, or there's been a lot of emotional distress in my life. The law was broken. and you have to deal with that. So the only thing I'm saying is we just had a parade for the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army, and it was controversial. Do y'all understand how ridiculous that is? It was controversial because we as a collective are not in a happy space. That's why it was controversial. What I am trying to implement is the ability for citizens to start weighing in so we can start rolling back some of the controversy. You can go to your favorite person and look at the thousands, and there's always thousands of comments that people want to weigh in, people want to say, and you do see certain individuals say some really good ideas, but there's no way to get those good ideas where they need to be. That's what I'm trying to implement in Florida. We've got to do something. Even if you're living the middle class life and it is okay for you, for how long? For how long do you have to watch all of this other stuff? You cannot be having the greatest of times while everyone around you is suffering. And there are a lot of young people. Look, I just had a conversation with a 21-year-old young person that came by to fix my AC. And I said, hey, your job doesn't have a pension. Matter of fact, most jobs in America do not have pensions. At 21, you need to really be considering what you're going to do about your future, because at some point, the work, the wear and tear on your body will take a toll. And when it takes that toll, you cannot, if you don't have it, you won't be able to afford it. And they already are saying now in 2034, they will only be able to pay out 80 to 81% of Social Security. Yet, we still haven't stopped taking Social Security from individuals. And then I explained to this 21-year-old that the United States of America and other countries are on what we call the fiat currency systems. That is debt-based debt. That is debt based on citizens. So if now you add in AI, you add in technology that is removing the citizen from the place of work that puts money inside the Social Security for when you get too old that you cannot do to provide for yourself. And remember what I said earlier, in a market where corporations are buying up all the homes and you're now in a renter's market for the rest of your life. And we already have citizens that are saying, hey, another problem is we don't own anything because property taxes across our nation leverage our homes. So you can spend 30 years of your life paying off a home that if you miss a top property tax payment, they take from you. Now, let's add in the attack that they're having on education. So now when you come in, you have to take a 30-year mortgage just to get post education. Then they want you to tack on another 30-year mortgage for somewhere that even if you pay off both of these mortgages, there is nothing that's going to take care of you for the rest of your life, because you don't get a pension for all the work you put in anymore, because corporations came up with new structures and they put you in these 401k plans and all of these things, while all of these bills are stacking up on you for a federal minimum wage that we refuse to raise. And citizens are still having a problem getting on board with getting some say-so, because you have a governor, a candidate for governor, that's trying to tell you that we need to weigh in and start trying to mitigate a lot of the problems that we're gonna feel. And I know I just said a lot, and you maybe have to play that back just so you can start putting all this stuff together. On top of that, we're supposed to be a quarters report away from knowing if indeed we're going to be in a recession, while trying to go to war, which is going to tax taxpayers even more. There is a problem. There is a problem. While simultaneously conceding power to the executive department, completely messing up the idea of checks and balances with the three, because citizens aren't even the four, because the only thing citizens can do is put somebody in a seat. And I am still out here asking citizens to give me the opportunity to put a different structure in place and let other states see that, hey, here is a structure that's working for the citizens, that's thinking ahead for the citizens. Because right now, look, we are being priced out. You're being priced out of education. You're being priced out of working, because let's be realistic. It's not being widespread, and people always say, well, how come this isn't national news and how come that isn't national news? Because everything, excuse me, everything can't be national news. It just can't be. So at the end of the day, you're gonna either find it. If you want to know how many jobs are being taken away because of tech, go look it up. It's the data is gonna be there. If you want to know how many industries are gonna be harmed by technical evolution, look it up. The information is there, but it might not always hit the news. We're just not in a good place, and it's gonna take citizens wanting to weigh in order to be in a better place. So I'm just asking you for your support to weigh in, because right now I just don't think we're in a good place. And yep, I definitely ranted this one off because there's just so many things that you have to put together. There's so many things that we need to put together. And let's not forget that during the COVID, that COVID period, we passed a ton of unproven, uneducated individuals through our school system because we were not prepared. Even with the technology we had, we were not prepared, and we weren't prepared institutionally, and we were not prepared on the home front. We were not ready to shift that level of education, and that was a wake-up call for all of us. How you manage these things, how you manage in chaos is important, and we needed really sound leadership during those times, and it failed. Bottom line, it failed, and we are watching now. We are living through the aftermath of failure. Are we in a good place? And if we're not in a good place, and we're not talking about individually, holistically, is the United States of America in a good place? And if it's not, then consider turning that petition in, if you're in the state of Florida, to give me some assistance to help citizens get ourselves back on track. Thank you. And you have a great day.